Speaking of this iOS rollout, I remember in community, not even, it was like summer school at Valley Community College. I had a teacher for my, I forgot what class it was, but he said someone called him in the middle of the night to tell him that his dad passed away. And he told that guy, why would you call me? I can wake up and get this news. Why would you call me and disturb my sleep when I can just wake up at 6 a.m. and, receive this call or receive this whatever? And this was before texting. It was like 2000 or something. You guys want to be woken up with that, or would you rather just wake up to it? Voicemail. Basically a voicemail. That would be the closest thing.
I don't need to be woken up for some shit like that.
Yeah. 3 a.m. You're like deep sleep.
Is it an emergency?
Because now you can't go back to sleep.
Was it a murder or is it like...
Can I bring him back to life? I don't want to be the asshole.
Valid question. It's a valid question.
I can't bring him back to life. I think you could tell me at 6 a.m.
Let me sleep. You have who's that one family member that does some shit that could be text, but they rather call you? Like, this is what you called me for? There's always one family member that always wants to call you instead of just texting or waiting until they saw you or some shit.
My cousin who works for me.
Yeah.
He works for me. This man comes and asks me questions like, yesterday, he can't, this is hypothetically, I guess, allegedly, to protect all causes. Comes up to my office. He goes, hey, getting a little hungry. I'm also a little tired. Can I take my lunch an hour early? And I said, well, I'm like, we specifically scheduled someone to come help you today to help package up, these hat orders.
Yeah.
And then, so you're going to waste, an hour of his time because he was scheduled to come help you and then take his lunch with everybody else's lunch. And he goes, I just think I'd work more efficiently if I took a break. And I said, I respect your honesty. I respect your answer. But I'm like, I'm like, so what is it? Like, did you stay up late? He goes, no, I'm well rested with my 8 hours. I said, oh.
And how old is he?
He's 19.
Oh, shit. Get the fuck out of here.
This is the chef, right?
Yeah.
I can't say anything bad about him. He did a good job.
And then he goes, well, it's just my legs hurt. I said, okay, cool. Sit down, do some emails for the next hour. He's just like, and then I was just like, hey, look, man.
Yeah, we not
if you don't want to work, he's like, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't want to waste your time. I'm like, well, you already wasted 15 minutes. He goes,
we're here now.
I'm like, we're here now. So what are you going to do?
Oh, man.
Listen, episode 98.
Yeah, right.
We are here. It feels like we are struggling to get to 100, but we're slowly getting there.
We'll get there.
This feels like a crawl.
We had a weird skip this last week, right?
Yeah, so
because of the holiday, right?
Yeah, because typically you listeners, you don't like to listen after 3-day weekends. So I told Rob over at DJcity, shout out to him. I said, hey, can we just skip this week? Because we're going to get like 3 listeners on a Tuesday after a 3-day weekend. He said, yeah, you're right. Let's do it next week. So we released that last episode a week later. So now we're here. And how we feeling?
Feeling good, feeling great, man.
Yeah.
Sean,
I feel like I haven't seen you. It's been a month or two.
Exactly. Holy shit, man. It's a ghost in here.
I mean, but it's bi-weekly now, so it doesn't seem as long of a time,
Yeah.
But yeah.
And plus, we skipped that week, so it was just the extra week on top of it.
Yeah.
But would he have been here last week if he showed up?
Hey, y'all want the vid? Shit. I was dying, okay? Shit.
I'm glad to see you're alive.
Yeah. Sean, you gonna be able to do the vid? Like, nah, I got the other vid.
All right.
Can't use that excuse no more. At least for 90 days.
I know, right?
Oh my God.
He's here.
Well, when I get the vax, I can put me out. You never know.
Get the Moderna.
Yeah,
that's the one.
All I know is you guys messed up my haircut schedule by skipping a week of recording. I was like, I'm gonna get a haircut every time after I record the podcast,
and we didn't record.
We're skipping a week.
No, I don't know when to get a haircut.
When do I get a
Well, should I skip a week too?
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Well, you wear hats anyway, so who cares?
Hey man,
That's what I do.
get
That's why
haircuts to
barber
wear
gets-
my hat.
Yeah, that's what my barber like. Why
So I
the
have to
fuck
go
you come
up
and
a
get a
size.
haircut? I said, I don't get a haircut. Just come here and get a shape up. Shake my shit up so I can go put my hat on.
Right. We don't know what's going on under
Right?
there.
Yeah, you ever go to a club and they're like, you gotta take your hat off. Nah, nigga, it's best in your interest and in mine if I keep this bad boy on.
Listen, the hat community is crazy, and I'll tell you one thing. I found out a lot of reasons why a lot of these guys just wear only hats.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Only
oh
hats?
shit. Huh?
Only hats.
Only hats. Only hats. Yeah.
Because they ain't got no hairlines.
Listen, I mean, my hair is good under here. I'm not saying that. I just like it.
No, you got
It's a
good
fashion
hair.
statement. Yeah, I got great hair. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with you. I've seen some motherfuckers take that hat off, and I'm like, nah, put that shit
bitch
back
up.
on. Put that shit back on. With all due respect. Oh man,
It
Joe, how you
is,
doing,
it is
man?
all natural. Fruits and berries. Shoot, man. My parents celebrated their 50th anniversary.
Hey,
5-0.
man.
5-0.
Marriage goals right here for the married men in here. You know what I'm
Labor
saying?
Day weekend, we were out here at the Odyssey in Granada Hills, the Valley's, I don't know, the Valley's like gem, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially the East Valley. Like, if you live in the East Valley, you're just like, you know what? Let's do something fancy. Let's go to the Odyssey.
Yeah.
They actually have really good Yelp reviews.
It's all
fancy.
great. Like their waffles, breakfast waffles are incredible. But no, it was a great event, and so shout out to them. I think the colors, the theme is like black and gold for 50th, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
At least that's what my parents were going with. That's what I figured it was. And I have a funny story. The most Joe thing I can do and the most not Joe thing I can do within an hour
Jeez.
of each event. So people are at my house getting dressed, getting ready. I have like 4 people from out of town. And, we're all like, it's a black tie event. So everyone's suited and booted to the 9, dapper. And my brother Brian comes over and, he's getting ready. He's got the kid and wife with him. And I need to go to the store to get something. We're at a tequila. So I was like, you know what? We'll make a quick run to the store. We'll
There
make
ain't no
sure.
tequila at Joe's house.
No, there's
We're
actually
out.
a lot
There
of
never
vodka.
was.
There's actually a lot of vodka, but no tequila. So I said, don't worry, I'll go to the store and grab some. So I'm at Ralph's. I'm looking at their selection. I was like, no, like, come on, man, like, stop playing with me.
You know
Like,
what tequila is?
Right.
I said, I looked at the worker. I said, you guys got 42?
At Ralph's?
Excuse me.
And I'm thinking, I don't know how much it costs, but I don't care.
Yeah, you was pretty good. Yeah.
This is
gonna learn
You know,
Dang.
exactly.
You know what I'm
What's that
saying?
say?
It's the
FP?
50th anniversary. It's the 50th anniversary. Like,
Fuck it, ball out.
why not?
Let me get
it's
this
a special
$60
thing.
bottle of tequila.
I was like, Hornitos? No. Like, whatever, Patron? No, get this shit out of
Don't
here.
ever drink Patron.
Ever.
No. What was the first shot I ever took was Patron. Warm.
No. That's
Chase
probably
with the
what turned
warm
you
Coke.
off.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Traumatized. PTSD. So I asked the guy, I said, you guys have 42? He said, yeah. I think we got one in the back. There was a box on top of it. Empty box that was dusty because
Ain't nobody buying that
ain't
shit.
nobody in North Hills
He's
gonna buy.
at the top shelf.
So he rings, and my cousin's like, "Oh wow, like you're really going in for this 50th anniversary." I was like, "Yeah, it's a special." So he rings it up, $200. I was like, "God damn!"
Shit. I mean,
I was like,
Ralph's
who cares?
always
It's
up,
fine.
they always up their prices at Ralph's. Like,
pretty
it's
high.
just, yeah, when the liquor store, you can go to the corner liquor store and get it cheaper than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're suffering from a shortage though, so
True. We'll get claws. You'll be all right.
See, I didn't see any of the other ones there.
Yeah, that's why you gotta go to the liquor store.
So whatever, we're there, we're in the moment. I said it's
Okay,
cool. Do it for my family, and also on top of that, after the church ceremony, people were going to come to my house to eat and have hors d'oeuvres and just chill out until we go to the reception.
right.
So I bring back before church. I bring back the bottle. My older brother. You always look at your older brother like, you always want him to be happy. You grew up trying to impress. I bought the Ice Cube album and the Beastie Boy album tape just to impress him when I was a kid. And then he just took it and ran off with his friends. But I was like, nah, he's cool. He's happy with it.
Yeah.
Like that's just my relationship with him. So I'm thinking, oh man, if I get 42, like, yeah, but Brian's going to enjoy this, you know? He takes a shot because he was asking for it earlier. He takes a shot. I was like, how'd that feel? How was that? You know, like, I know what I'm talking about. But, you know, you guys, you're like, yeah, that's the smoothest shit.
Right?
He's like, it was cool. I was like, oh, all right. no, it's cool. No. It's cool.
So then, smooth.
What is he like? What brand is he like?
I don't know what brand he likes, but I doubt 42 is in his, like, ballpark of what he has at home or what he drinks at friends' house. He probably just gets the typical shit. Like, you know, like the affordable stuff. Yeah. So I don't even think that, or maybe that, I don't know. But so we're all in a rush now. Got to get to the church, and he says, "Hey, I'm gonna throw some in my flask for my wife." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." And then
he put 42 in a flask.
So then he leaves, and I'm like, "Wait a minute." He put 42, this $200 bottle, in a flask. Like it's some cheap shit to get his neck right. Because that's the way I view a flask. You throw some shit in there just to, like, you know, get through the moment. You know, you're in church or you're at a ball game. You're with your kids.
A flask in church.
Yeah, you're with your kids at the beach or at the park. You
it's just actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's what the flasks are for. It's just to, like, a little something in your breast pocket to get you through it. So now I'm not happy with this. Because this has happened to me before hundreds of times as a kid. And I'm like, no, I'm a grown man. I'm a big boy now. You can't do this to me. So I'm thinking, I bet that's not for his wife. I think this is just for him for whatever reason. He doesn't need it. And I doubt she needs it, but whatever. We're at church now. Before the ceremony begins, his wife's sitting in front of me. I go, psst. Psst. Hey, did Brian give you a flask?
In church?
Yeah. He is Larry David. And you ain't even watched Curb. You are Larry David, my Continue, Larry. Continue.
She says, "Nah, I didn't know he was." I was like, "Okay, no, say less. Your priest is coming down. Say less. It's cool."
The priest is coming.
So we going back to my house, and I know he's gonna want to pour shots for everybody and all that, and I'm like hosting. I don't know if you guys have hosted. I know Rell has hosted. But like when you're hosting, you're all over the place. You don't even care about anything except, is there enough food out there? Is everyone happy? Is the temperature right?
And
like
making sure nobody's
all
breaking
these
your
little
shit.
things. Yeah, you're just like, you got a towel on the floor because people spill shit. So you just put your foot on the towel. You just keep it close by. You know, shit happens. I got new floors. You know, whatever. A lot on my mind. But the one thing at the top was Brian in that flask. All right. So Brian.
This is definitely the Joe thing.
Yo, absolutely.
The most non-Joe thing was buying the 42.
Right. Okay, all right.
This is the Joe
This
thing.
is for our listener.
So I hide the 42 before I go to church. I go to my room knowing damn well Brian's gonna ask for that 42 when we get back because he's got
cool, huh?
Because the homies are there, the family's there. You know, it's a celebration. Of course, shots are gonna go up. And he yells out across the room, "Hey Joe, yo, where's that 42?" I said, first off, you need to use what is in that flask. The rest of what's in that flask, you need to do that. Then I'll get to the 42. He's like, "Nah, well, I left the flask in the car." I said, "Brian, go to your car and get the flask. That's a $200 bottle, bro. You're not just gonna put it in a flask like it's a fucking $40 bottle." And he was like, "Ah, fuck, all right." And I know he's annoyed by it. I don't care. Again, that's $200 bottles. Everyone's gonna enjoy it. It's not just you and your moments in
You
church
did
or
not
whatever.
chip in on this, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So he's like, "All right, I empty the flask. Can you go get the bottle now?" I said, "Absolutely." I go to my room. We pour up, and everything's great.
Oh man.
And shout out to Cleveland. He did the reception. And he did a great job. Like my parents, they want to hear nothing but 50s
That's
and
his
60s.
bag, yo.
And yeah, no diss to his age because I feel like you're taking a shot at his age.
No, I'm not at all. No, not dead ass. I'm not at all. But that's his bag. Like he's known. Like whenever we get events where it's a lot of older people and they want like, you know, that stuff. We automatically you do that shit. Not saying that the rest of us can't do it, but I'm like, he knows that shit front to back. He enjoys doing that.
I
type
reached
of
out to
shit.
Paris because he did a great job at my wedding, and I know Unique is in the same age range, so I figured they can handle this. And then he said, "No, Cleveland's getting tapped in with this." I was like, "Cool,"
Yeah.
and he did a great job.
No, he did. That's his bag. Like I mean, granted, Cleveland is older than those guys, but
We had a celebrity in the building. Cleveland's a celebrity in this community.
yo, I'm trying to tell you, man. But yeah, that's his thing. I'd be like, yo, anytime I gotta do some shit, I'd be like, listen, send me some shit.
Yeah.
Send me some shit. But that's why when you told me that he was gonna do it, I was like, oh yeah, you in good hands.
Yeah.
You're in good hands.
Yeah, so that was dope. Rell, how was your weekend or your last 3 weekends?
Shit, bro.
Anything
You know what's
notable?
funny? I was like, when Mickey was like, oh yeah, I stopped at the room, and I was like, yo, I completely forgot about that shit. Like, I was like, I don't even know what I did. But yeah, I did the room, what was that, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. I've done a dime twice since then.
Mhm.
A couple of privates. It's been good, man. You know,
Yeah.
Steady working. The room was slow than usual.
Yep.
All our people showed up. If our people didn't show up, then it would have been dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mickey pulled up on us, man. It was a nice surprise.
Left
Nice.
early too.
Yeah.
What time you out?
I think like 12.
Okay.
But you
yeah,
went to
that's
highlight room
about-
afterwards, right?
No.
Oh, I thought you went to highlight room.
That's about time.
But he brought wifey with him.
Nice.
Yeah, that was nice. You know, usually you appreciate it when you come out, but if Sam came with you, I'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Right,
not with
not-
her work schedule.
Not during the week, huh?
Nah, yeah, it's rough because she's got to be up and deal with clients and their headaches, man. So these parents that act like little kids with their little kids, it's
Yeah, I
it's-
get that, man.
It's a headache. She's
Yeah.
mentally exhausted, but enough excuses about my wife not supporting you. But yeah, so
Yeah, it was
Good
cool.
times.
We had a good time. You know, we had a couple of drinks in the system and shit like that. Sean was there.
I got to encourage you guys to ever come out to LA and shit. If you see Rell on a flyer during the week,
Please, man.
you got to come out and support because he's playing everything.
I mean, yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I've been there at the room to hear everything, and when you look at his stories, it's like one video clip is like a '90s house song, the next one is
Some
like a
trap.
2000 hip hop, and the next one is
some
like
trap
yeah,
shit.
you're like every video clip something different, and the room is into both rooms, Dime and Room are intimate, so you know you can get a real dope vibe there.
I'm not going to say we felt pressure, but I will say that it helped that J Rose did reach out personally and said, you should come out and bring.
Oh,
Wife.
yeah.
Little
did.
personal
She did.
touch.
Just a
Always
just a
little
personal
bump.
touch. I was
Just a
like, you
little
know
nudge.
what? I was like, I wasn't
a
even
little
thinking
nudge.
about it really because, you know, you go through the motions. And I was like, you know what? Let me ask.
You're like, fuck Rell. He didn't text me.
I don't text anybody. Listen,
Hey.
I don't text anybody.
Rell and I are very alike.
Yeah,
Of course.
I don't
As the
text-
DJs, I
Ain't
know how-
I ain't hitting nobody.
Yeah,
you can hit
right.
me,
Yeah,
I'll
right.
reply.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't
Right.
hit anybody when people be like, yo, you doing such and such tonight? Yeah, pull up, man. No problem.
Right,
You know
that's
what I
the
mean? Like,
invitation. The
yeah.
flyer post is the
Yeah, you
invitation.
see it?
I get
It's there.
Well,
Like,
that's an
all
interesting
stuff.
conversation because as DJs, I don't think many of us reach out to our circle like, "Oh, you're gonna come out." I mean, I understand if you got bottle poppers, yo, what's good? You put like,
I reach out
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah,
like-
exactly, 1,000%. But it was a good thing that she did it because it was like because we're trying to work on like our own branding, like doing our show,
For
like
sure.
we call it the
Yeah.
Rell and Rose show or whatever. So it was dope that she reached out to people individually and be like, hey, this is what
Why
we're
not?
doing. And I noticed that she was doing that, and then when people would like comment on a flyer or whatever, they would just put like the fire emojis or some shit like that. Then I'd extend it and be like, oh, you should pull up. But, you know, that was the most I was doing. I wasn't going, quote unquote, out of my way to be like, hey,
All right.
this is what we doing. You should come out or whatever. She was
Right.
doing that. But she's known for that. She's more approachable. So I'm like, go ahead, girl, do your thing. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
because of her, more people showed up. And I'm like,
well, that's how the team works.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah, but that goes back to when we were talking about it. Y'all shouldn't be asked to promote as well as fucking work that night.
Well, I mean, we weren't expected to. Like,
No,
that's
I know.
not-
I'm
but we
just-
just
I'm
did
just
it
saying.
for our
Yeah,
for
yeah.
our sake because it was just something.
But more of a reason why you guys don't feel
I
the
would
need
encourage, like, if I'm in Rell's situation at the Dime or the Room, I would encourage Rell or whatever myself to do that because that's more of an intimate us thing.
Yeah, that's why I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5 people will change the way that place looks.
Exactly.
Real quick.
If it's like Sunset Room, like if you're not telling
Yeah,
anybody,
right,
like, yo,
it
you
doesn't
saw
matter.
the flyer. If you saw the flyer,
You
cool,
saw the
pull
flyer,
up. If
yeah.
you didn't, like, this is your invite, the flyer.
Yeah, I mean, but that's why, I mean, luckily, you know, the people showed up and people showed out. And then, I mean, to Joe's point, that's more of a reason why a lot of these venues have been like loving me because they're like, yo, he walked in with 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? 10 people ain't shit. They were like, 10 people, that's it. But like, yo, that's more than what a lot of these cats are doing.
So-
Not saying that we require them to do that. We're not actually, but
Yeah.
the fact that you're doing that off the rip, then we're more appreciative of that. And,
Going
you know,
above and beyond.
yeah, we'll bring you back. You know what I mean? And just on some last minute shit. Like I got booked on Monday to do it. And I was shout out to Artistic because he had hit me up and he was like, yo, can you do it? And I'm like, oh, cool. It'll be easy night. Monday. It's gonna be light in there. nigga. I was in that bitch and I looked up. I mean, as soon as they opened the doors, and I was just like, wait, people already here? And I'm like, damn, yo,
I gotta work.
Yeah, right, for real. That's why I was like, oh, it's gonna be crew. We gonna cruise. We gonna have a good time. You know, Waddy, shout out to Waddy. And wifey came with me. And next thing I know, I look up. A homegirl Lauren pulled up. We had a couple more people pull up. People were just coming in, filtering in. I was like, oh shit, we got to turn up a little bit. And I had to turn up. And I was like, oh shit. And then, like you said, you saw the videos. This was going in there going crazy. So I was like, all right, cool. But again, handful of people came out. You know what I love about the Diamond? We talked about this on the show. The hospitality, man. It's a very small dive bar that no one would ever even think about doing. But they treat you so well in there. They check on you constantly throughout the night. They put a security guard next to you so no one bothers you.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, yo, if you got people coming, they hold a section for you. Yo, we're gonna give you the section right here next to it. Whoever you got, just let us know. We make sure they're taken care of. Yeah. If there's a line or anything like that, they ain't gotta wait in it or nothing. Like the hospitality was amazing. And that's why I loved going there and doing it. Not only because you can spend whatever you want to spend and you could really have a good time and the crowd is really into everything, but just the hospitality alone, I was just like, oh, we here. We had a great time. The first night I did it, shout out to my homegirl Lauren, it was her birthday, so we was in there deep. We was in there deep and it was a fucking party.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those that don't know about the Dime, like
it's a landmark.
There's layers to Hollywood, and I'm not talking like levels. There's just different layers. Like, and I know Freddie Gibbs was there this past
on Monday.
Monday, but I don't know what it's like now. But 10 years ago, if you walked into the Dime on a Friday night, you might see Lady Gaga, or you might see this guy from this show or this movie, because it's so low key. Like, you're thinking you're going to go out to these these Hollywood spots that are high profile, and you think you're going to see a celeb, but that's usually not the case on a weekend. Maybe during the week. But the Dime is like, no, people don't really know about this spot. The people that know always come out.
Always go, yeah.
So, if I'm E from Entourage, I'm going to sit in a corner where no one can bother me with my friends and just have a real chill evening. No one's dancing, or at least not in his circle. You just got your own space. So that's the beauty of the Dime, and it's a staple in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, to it's still like that, to a certain extent, because I mean, the last time that I even attend or spun there, I've seen
always,
a couple of celebrities in there. And like you said, they're just in the cut. They're having a good time. Shit, Lil Rell, the comedian Lil Rell, he's always in that bitch. But he be at a bar having a good time and shit like that. Like you said, Freddie pulled up on Monday. I forgot who was there that Saturday that I did it. But there was a couple of people in there. But yeah, it's a dope venue.
Yeah, it's on Fairfax.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say for those that aren't familiar, it's in the Fairfax district, on Fairfax, next to Sweet Chick, across from Supreme, next to John and Vinny's, next to Bodmosh,
Canners,
Canners. Like, it's that little hub, where it's, I mean, extremely dangerous if you're on Melrose, but then if you live in that neighborhood, you're spending millions of dollars. Yeah, it's actually safer at night.
Right. It's safer at night than during the day. Be over there, yo.
Right
that's
now.
crazy.
When you see a long line somewhere, stay away from that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how the weekend was, man. We had a good time, and it was that. Yeah.
So recently, I did Cleveland Forward and Sac Noel and myself. We did. It was a Friday, so after Labor Day weekend, I've learned that a lot of these venues are slower on Friday because summer is basically over. So on the backside of Forward is like 1,000-person venue, and on the backside is a pool, and it kind of like Excess, but just way smaller. So they felt it looks a lot better if you put 200 people on the poolside in a 1,000-person space, because even with 200 people, it looks dead empty in a 1,000-person space. But Sac Noel and we had a great time. We showed out. We played everything. Like, typically, Sac will do an hour to an hour 20, and then I will jump on to close out the night. No, he kept going, and the owners kept it open to like 2:15 or 2:30, and Sac just didn't want to get off. So that's a good sign from SAC. That's a good sign from the owner that everyone was having a good time. And then I moved on to the Grand, which is a booking I've been waiting for a long time, just because it's, to me, the best club in the country. And I had an epiphany right before my set. This is my third or fourth time, probably, I think my third time doing the Grand. I know what DJs do walking into the Grand, and I've done the same thing. You drop like a 10, 20 minutes house set, cryo, big Grand opening presentation, and you get the energy to another level. And Way Too Sexy's out, right? And I'm thinking, oh shit, am I about to open my set with hip hop? Is this what my intuition's telling me? I should. That meme from The Wire with the black dude where he's like putting the shit spinning around. I had that moment, just like, am I about to do this? So I'm starting to think, what can I open with to grab them? Because you can't go too new, because it's Boston. I imagine they're like any other popular city, but I don't know to what extent.
Fam, if you ain't heard Drake though, I'm sorry.
No, that was fine. Yeah. But see, I'm glad you brought that up. I still wanted to test that because, obviously it's Drake. It's a no-brainer, but I needed to get a gauge on how big of a no-brainer it was. Okay. So during sound check, there's like 20 bottle girls. They're in their meeting, and then they break, and I push play and Way Too Sexy, and I look up, and all these girls are going crazy. I was like, all right, good indication. Mm-hmm. That's the song to start with, Mm-hmm. But after that, I'm thinking, what else can I follow up? I can't go too new. I can't go too obscure hip hop. Like, you're not going to go in there unless you're a hip hop DJ like Spade or Travis Scott or Chase B or whatever. Travis Scott's a DJ.
Shit.
But he is, though.
Yeah, he is.
Technically. I'm not going to play Lil Durk. I'm not going to play 42 Doug. No. Right? Unless they're with Drake. You're right. Yeah. So I couldn't go that deep. So I figure out what I'm going to do, and it's just like familiar sing-along shit. Cool. But I was still on the fence about them. Like, I was definitely leaning that way. So then I talked to someone that works for the company that had been working there since day one. And I told him, hey, I got this idea to come out like this. I want the cryos to come out when it drops. I don't know if you can hear the synth at the beginning, because the synth is really low
on Way Too Sexy. Yeah, it's so low.
So it's like, it's hard. And even my countdown to the drop, I'm like, fuck, I better not fuck this up, because I can barely hear it. And you don't want, the countdown to be off before the one hits. So he tells me, I love it. I don't know why these top 40 DJs come in on a Saturday thinking they have to play house all night or even start their set with house. We have tech house on Thursdays. We have house on Fridays. Why would we want more house on a Saturday when you got a top 40, just your regular people that listen to Billboard's top 10 and whatever?
But to the DJ's defense, they don't know that they have those house nights on Thursday and Friday.
No, they do. They do. And this is why I think they get confused or they view it all wrong. Is because when you look at all the recap videos on the Grand's feed, it's all house. Yeah. It's like Tiesto, it's Castro, obviously it works great for them. But, and Randy's told me a number of times, it's a top 40 night. Not saying don't play house, not saying don't do this, don't do that, but
you're open to playing top 40.
It's an open format night, yeah. So I went with it, and Jason Craig told me I was psycho for counting how many songs I played. But I did a recap of like what I played. I dragged it into a folder and so I played, I think, roughly 110 songs, 2-hour set. And I counted the BPMs of 128. So my math was 20% of my set was house. And the rest was hip hop, top 40, Latin. It was like everything. Like, I even played the Ramones, Avril Lavigne, like Blinding Light. I usually don't hear Blinding Lights when I'm out, but that goes over extremely well still. At least with white people.
And Boston got a lot of those.
and I know Stay would have worked. I know the I hate that track, and see, to me, like, that just goes well with the Ramones and Avril Lavigne and Mickey, Hey Mickey, and that whole 4 on the floor, like high energy 4 on the floor shit. It's not 4 on the floor, but it is boom, 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 But So yeah, so I'm glad, and then like the feedback was just crazy about that because even the spenders like, yo, we love coming here, but it's always house on a Saturday. Like I wish more guys would do hip hop. So I don't know if any of those headliners that do Saturdays listen, but there's your fucking nugget moving forward with the Grand.
So you're better than everybody.
I mean, if you want to interpret it that way,
Hey, you know, I ain't gonna take nothing down from my collar.
I know how many bottles I sold with the hip hop.
One niggas probably lost it. So reaction, what did you play after Way Too Sexy?
Okay.
Yeah, you built up that whole thing. Then
Yeah,
tell us what you played after.
Right.
Really wasn't sure if anyone cared for me to get into, but
I mean, we want another one song that you fucking
so way too
teased.
sexy, way
He's
too
like,
sexy.
oh, you want to see under this?
That's because I would have taken a screenshot of my list. No, way too sexy. Then it was girl, the way you move it.
Oh, no hands.
Oh yeah.
No hand that. I mean, if you saw the video, my that fucking they went crazy for
Yeah.
that
I said,
shit.
look,
every
ma,
time.
no hands.
Yeah,
We were just talking about this.
We were just
and
talking
you
about
know
that song.
you can let Walkers. Everyone knows the words to that.
Okay, best verse on that song.
I'm gonna go with
In my opinion, the best verse is Wale's verse, but the better response from the crowd is Waka's.
for sure. Same.
It's because it's easy to rap.
I have an edit
That goes
where
straight
it
to
goes
Wale.
straight into Wale's, right? And then I've been playing it for years. I've been playing my edit because it has an acapella out, and I always like will put an intro song that I never use intros for, but the one time I do is out of this track. But I noticed I was just like, I was like, maybe I gotta go back to playing the original. So I went back to playing the original like the last maybe 6 months, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm getting a way better response from it than I was when I was playing my
You
edit.
think it builds up the Wale verse?
I don't even play the Wale verse
You
anymore.
don't even play it.
I do the Walker verse and I
He
get the
still
fuck
plays
out
it.
of it. I'm sure he does.
He still performs.
I mean, yeah, I don't
everywhere.
even play it. And again, it's just my way because I've been playing the Wale verse for so many years now
Right.
with the edit that I'm like, all right, I just play the Walker one, get the response that I'm using because I use it as a sing along track.
Yeah.
And get the fuck out of it and keep it pushing. Tell me you play Work. I know that shit went crazy.
See, that's the thing. I usually do, but I'm thinking, nah, too easy. Hit him with something different.
Too easy.
Too easy. Hit him with some. Come on, Joe, be creative. Hit him with something different.
Let's hear this.
No, but that's
But I hear what you're saying, but because you don't normally play hip hop at this spot, I would have think,
no,
okay.
I do, just not off the bat. Like
Yeah.
I basically rearranged my blocks of my BPM ranges.
Got you.
My third block or fourth block went to the front.
Got you.
You know. Okay, so the Waka. Then I somewhere in there was like not in this order, but it was BMF, Grove Street.
BMF. I haven't heard that shit.
What's the other one? Grove Street and the other
Round of
Waka?
applause.
No.
Wasted?
That would work. No, his other
Nah,
big
that's
one that
Gucci.
Lex
Oh, you're
Luger.
talking about
No, that's Grove Street.
That's Grove Street. The other one before that,
Walker?
I got a whole lot of money. Bitches count.
Oh, let's
That's
do it.
that's Grove
Oh, let's
Street.
do it. Oh, let's do it.
Oh, let's do it.
No, fuck. It's the other one that Lex Luger produced.
Oh, hard in the paint.
Hard in the
Hard
Paint.
in the paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, those
You play
two.
Hard in the Paint in Boston. Nigga, shit.
Yeah, no, it went up.
Hey, Walker is a legend, bro.
Yeah,
It was loud, bro.
But that's
like,
what like a spender would want to hear. Like, I don't know. I think it just sounds to me like, and I'm not disrespecting your favorite venue in the country, but like they're catching up to the programming is catching up to what the rest of the country is kind of used to, like in ways. You know what I mean? I understand that. At the same time, I do think the pandemic played a role in possibly having more of an open ear because it sounded like when we had discussions about them, it was always kind of like this is what they do. This is how they do it.
Yeah.
And then you are going in there and challenging that, which is fucking amazing because it opens the door to what everybody else was doing kind of on Twitch, right? You kind of play whatever you want. And so like people are trusting the DJ more, I think, post-pandemic versus pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Pre-pandemic, it was like play what we want or don't have this job.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
Show us something.
all right, well, like, you know, like you guys kind of know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that plays into verses, that plays into everything that happened during the pandemic, kind of like help reset the mindset on what people want to hear. And I think at the end of the day, if you're spending X amount of money, you're going to hear hip hop.
Yeah.
Like the spenders like to hear hip hop. That's a, unless you're fucking, all the guys you named, Tiesto, fucking
8-track, all those guys.
all those like big name guys, like that's the money level.
Let me
Well,
ask you this. No, not to cut you off.
Well, hold on, let me comment on that. Like you hit it on the nose because doing deep thinking about that, like if you're a house head who's buying a table, you're probably not coming out to see Dainjazone. You're probably going to go see Castro at Big Night Live, or not Castro, Blau at Big Night Live, or Tiesto whenever he's in town. If it's not that, and you're going to a top 40 night, you probably like hip hop. Like it's in the culture of hip hop for someone to go spend money, show out. Where you're like Boston, like those, like the fashion is really like, it's not sung, but the fashion is really dope in Boston. Like I look at these buyers, I'm like, oh shit, like these dudes are really dripping. Like they're so loud, they want to be seen, but it's just not highlighted because it's Boston, Massachusetts.
What's dripping, Joe?
I don't know, Supreme.
Oh, Lord have
stuff
mercy.
like that. No, that's not a drip.
No.
That's a slow drip.
No, I mean it depends on that.
I mean, it matches the songs. Like,
They got on J's. They got designer brands.
What I'm saying is, if they're young, then I get it. Supreme is a brand that's
They're
up
young.
there. You know
They're in their
what I'm
20s
saying? In their
buying
20s,
tables.
what you call it? If I see like,
oh, they got crypto money.
yeah, exactly.
NFT money.
Let me ask you this though: hip hop side, are you playing Dreams and Nightmares, Finito, March Madness at the Grand?
So to answer your question real quick, I play Dreams and Nightmares. I didn't get to the others, but to round out my opening set, then it was AP, Dior, just because I know New York's right there, and that's like Washington to San Francisco. Like Washington claims the Bay, right? And then it was like a Bugatti. Then I played Bugatti.
Shit.
Went crazy, but shout out to Dibs
Yeah,
and MGM. They made a bootleg version that goes up into a house drop.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it was like now we're at house and we're good. But yeah, in the middle of the night, like when there was still time to buy bottles, I played Dreams and Nightmares. And we talked about something probably like, no, Boston, that's a Philly thing or whatever. And I was like, fuck it, I got nothing to lose. I don't know when I'll be back. Let's do this. Worst case.
Fuck it.
So I played it and it went off. It did well. And then talking to one of the VIP hosts after the set, he said, yeah, that's a really big song out here because that was a song they played after the Super Bowl. And anything the Patriots do, Boston latches on to. Like they watch them and, oh, you like eating that? Cool, we're going to eat that. Like that's just how it is in that community. So yeah, Dreams and Nightmares went well. And everything else was just top 40. And then I got into this conversation with Jason last night. Like it's not the only reason, but I think one of the reasons why there are 100 BPM remixes and bootlegs, because we want that drop to have energy, the Moomba tone, the high synth, hyper synth, whatever, saw waves. We want that energy because we're afraid some of these hip hop tracks don't have enough. And I'm thinking, and if I do, like you guys can back me on this. If you do a hip hop night in LA, if you drop a remix with the Moomba tone drop or something, you're gonna get yelled at. Or a high synth remix, like if you do a hip hop,
You just get looked at weird.
Yeah. Like, yo, what the fuck?
Worst
bro?
case, you get yelled
Somebody's
at.
coming up to you.
Yeah. Play the original, nigga.
And if you like hip hop, you
What
really,
is this, an 8-bar intro?
if you're a spender, you're probably not gonna want to turn up to a fucking hype remix, some shit like that, because you like the hip hop song, you want to enjoy your drink to, you want to enjoy a conversation, you like the vibe. Yeah, it's not high energy, but at the end of the day, it's still a vibe that is accounted for and that should be acknowledged. So typically when I was telling Jason, like the new remix is the original. Like, does that make sense? Like, it's because everyone's looking for the best remix to drop in the club and the crowd is so used to hearing remixes. What happens if you drop the original and God forbid they know the words to that because it's not a build up and a drop into some synth?
Well, it's just the rest of the country versus like pockets, right? Like New York, LA, your major cities are going to play originals and they're going to rock with it because they're trendsetters. Like the rest of the country, I say this respectfully, so because I know most of our followers are like not from like the major cities, but like they're following whatever the trend is, right? And they got to switch it up to translate the record to their city.
Crowd,
You know what I mean? And I'm kind of half talking out my ass because I'm not really traveling a DJ like that. But based on kind of what I've seen and what I see on the top DJ City charts, what's being downloaded, like when you look at a DJ City record pool Hot 10, like you will always find some whack ass easy transition record, right? Like a wordplay transition, segue, shit that you could do live is always in the top 10.
Always.
Like, right? Like on the money. And it's always the most downloaded. Why? Because motherfuckers are lazy and they want to translate the thing how it goes versus us, like we're going to do shit live.
Do you use transition records? I don't know if I asked you that before.
Yeah. When I go up, down BPMs, well,
that's different.
Obviously, 130,
well, yeah, that's what I'm
65
asking. Like his purposes of using them.
I feel like the Grand is a perfect venue for transition records.
Oh, I'm telling you, I've been using this transition for like 5. When did Don't Stop the Party come out by Pitbull? Whenever that came out, I've been using that transition, not into any big EDM drops. Like the place goes crazy. It's a great reset to get people going from 100 to 128. And again, it's just the original. I know the original. I like the energy. There's no weird bleeps and bloops and synths. Like it's just, and now I can go from there into my weird bleeps and bloops and all that shit. But what I noticed is, and back to the remix conversation, the only, and everyone can be right in this. I'm not saying everyone's wrong and I'm doing it the right way, the only way.
No, everybody's wrong.
But the only remixes I use with those drops in the 100 BPM range are old songs, like some old Sean Paul song or Lumity, or something like that. Like chances are, if it's a brand new song, like I'm gonna want to play the latest Bad Bunny in its original form and whatever, because that's what the people know right now. That's what they love right now. And I feel like in some spaces, people are you're gonna rob them of a feeling and a moment. Because you got this, you know, like, man, I was just getting into it and you got this hype thing going on. Like, I just think there's a time and place for it. And you know, but everyone has their own way of doing what they do.
Yeah. Well, Latin and reggae records, right? Like traditionally have that kind of that pattern, that swing that you can like kind of almost like put an emphasis on the drums versus like take away from the record, which can make or break the need to use it. Out there. Yeah.
So in a nutshell, that was my my night in a nutshell.
I got one last question for you though. Yeah. Did you play any Michael Jackson?
Do you play Michael Jackson on the sets?
Sometimes, hell yeah. For that crowd, hell yeah, I don't give a shit. End of the night, mostly.
That's what I said. You know, it's crazy because at the time, I was like, when I was telling y'all earlier, like in the middle of the set, I'm like, man, because you play a specific genre so much, right? That I'm like, man, fuck that. I have an opportunity to throw a wrench in there. In the middle of a trap set, I'm playing Sade and Michael Jackson. Boom, just drop it. And I'm like, fuck it, sing. I'm like, and I literally would get on the mic, time to sing, and then like just drop the shit. But it works. Right. And then respond. And I'm playing like Remember the Time, and they're over there like, then you start seeing niggas dancing and shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, see? He's like, the security guard's like, yo, when you got niggas dancing and shit, it's a problem. This singing, he was like, his security guard came over because I played Keisha's Cole, Let It Go. He was like, yo, you see all these niggas singing this shit? And I said, hey, man.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
Well, let me move my gun to the hip, bro.
Yo, I gotta put the burner down on this one.
Put it on safety. Some shit
it's so comfortable in the front.
Bro.
Hold on, baby. That's just my gun. Let me get it out the way.
Come on, man.
No, that's I mean, we're going to get back to Michael, but that's a fun, like, you know, like we like to talk big shit and flex and talk about how great we did and whatever we did. Play Michael Jackson 1215 and manage to do it in the smoothest way and see if you can get away with it. Play We Belong Together, Mariah Carey, in the middle of the night and see how dope you are. Play the Young Jock and T-Pain Shawty Snap. Baby girl.
Buy you a drink.
Like play that and see how dope you are. Like we know what works and what can, and just a couple pods ago we were saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm with that. But I'm also with challenging and having fun. Let me try this in this venue. They wouldn't expect it placed here. Let me see what I can do with this. And let me see how dope I am to smoothly get out of it into something else to keep the momentum.
Mary J. Blige is going down.
Yeah.
What happened?
Huh?
I dropped it off. Singing, screaming to the top of the lungs. 12:25 at night.
Maybe not at the Grand.
No.
I think it would work.
Maybe.
No, I think it would work.
Depends on how many broken hearts you got in there.
Yeah, good. I'm saying, fuck it, go for it. Because you think about it. You think about the BPM that it's in, right? It's what 64 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many songs that you can play after that you're gonna be like, all right, fuck it, it don't work.
Yeah.
You get out of it. And you're going. I went from that to way too sexy. Oh my fucking god! You would have thought they were like, hold on, nigga. Like, even these niggas looked at me like,
Do you drop it on the one of the synth or on the beat?
no, I drop it on the beat and then I bring it back. Yeah, I drop it.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
I dropped it from the top, but I don't think they were expecting it. So 4 bars, like, I bring it back.
Yeah, I bring it back. I bring it back. And because again, you catch off guard because of the track that I played before. They're screaming there like they're in their feels and they're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm hearing this shit. I haven't heard it so much. And then boom, they're like, oh, whoa, nigga. And then, all right, let me reset. Let me allow y'all to catch our bearings. So,
what time of the night you do that?
that was like 12:30, between 12:30 and 12:40, like close to 1 a.m. Yeah. I mean, but again, 1 a.m. in LA, that's like peak hour.
No, that's a great time to challenge
It's like
yourself.
4 a.m. in Calabasas.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
All right, so back to
Michael Jackson. Yeah,
Michael. Yeah, I haven't really kept up with it, but apparently people are comparing MJ to Drake. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Mickey, what you got?
No, I'll let Rell kick this off. I think he's got a more verse.
Listen, man, I think it's just even disrespectful. And, first of all, before I give my take, because a lot of people that hit me up and take my shit out of context and
good.
whatnot.
What have you been saying?
More listeners, good.
What have you been saying?
Context. Because again, they watched the clip and I get that
Rell's
you're
the most
responding.
controversial person on this podcast.
Yeah, because they watched the clip and they're like, oh, what's this nigga talking about? Like, he's talking about his ass again. Shut the fuck up. Watch the whole goddamn fucking episode and you'll get it. Drake is amazing. I'm not taking anything. Drake is probably the number one. It is the number one artist.
Get all this out of the
right
way
now. Exactly. You have to because
yes.
you have to.
Go ahead.
You gotta get it. Drake is the
common
number
sense
one
isn't common.
artist. Drake is the number one artist in in this generation right now.
When did this generation start and end? Or start?
That's a good point. I would say early 2000s. Correct? Excuse me, mid 2010s. 2010s.
So 2015.
Around, let's say 2000.
I'm just, all right.
Yeah.
Range. All right.
Between 2010 and 2015.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
That's reasonable, right? Because early 2000s, we were in high school.
Yes.
Right? And that was kind of like our peak in music when we were like.
Ja Rule was on top when I was in high school.
Exactly.
Okay, but
you know what I'm saying? 50 Cent was
right
that nigga at the time. Jay-Z was
2
that
years
nigga.
later.
Yeah. But again, it was around the same time or whatever. So again, this generation, Drake is that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Drake is that guy.
Last 10 years.
You know what I'm saying? Last 10 easily.
sure, yeah.
Easily. Last 10 years. No one's peaking him except for like OGs in the game, right? That you can argue what it is. So I'm not taking anything away from him. Why are we comparing Drake to Michael? This nigga is an icon.
yeah.
You could
People born in 2010 don't know.
and I said that. That's reasonable, right? Someone who's born in 2010 has never experienced Michael Jackson. So they shouldn't even be allowed to be in the conversation.
Right.
Because they haven't experienced Michael Jackson and Drake at their peak. You know what I'm saying? Most of us haven't even experienced Michael Jackson at his peak because we were so young.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we were there to see the transition. We were there to see it. We were born in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? And you knew who Michael Jackson was as a little kid. And you were dancing to Thriller and all this shit, you know what I'm saying? And then when you get into the 90s and Black and White and Smooth Criminal and all that shit was coming out.
And the song Black and White.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant, right? Transition. Got you. But you know what I'm saying? So we were able, our generation experienced that, and then we experienced Drake when he came out, and so Drake hasn't even been alive longer than how many decades Michael Jackson has been putting out hit after hit after hit.
Since he was like 6.
If you think about it, like you can't compare, and I'm not taking anything away from Drake, but whoever decided to say, "Oh, Drake is whatever the comment was, the new Michael Jackson," or it's
Not even close.
It's not even close. It's not even, to me, Drake ain't even on Beyonce's level.
I think they're even. I think they're even.
Him and Rihanna are probably like even, I think.
It's hard to say because with the genre of music, you got a different demographic. Like their music is pop, so it's more universal versus Drake. He's in that.
But Drake
R&B.
is a pop artist though.
So, yes, but
he's a pop artist.
but is Afrobeat is the Afrobeats wave as big as you know what I'm saying? Like
where's your drop?
What a Michael Jackson was doing or Beyonce?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. But I don't think because you have to give it time. Because of the amount of time that it hit the wave.
Around, true.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, both Beyonce and Drake have jumped on that whole Afrobeat, wave or whatnot.
Let me jump in here real quick before Mike gets into his controversial take.
I'm ready.
I think when MJ was coming up, you were just limited. You had limited access to him. All you had, you might have seen him on MTV, and obviously before that there was no MTV. You might have, you had his shows and you had his albums. That's like the only time you can look at Michael, and obviously he's bigger than life because his music, right? And he was always at the forefront of music changing, and he recruited the right producers and dancers. Like, he learned the moonwalk from some guy on Soul Train.
Come on, man.
And that's
Quincy
what,
Jones in his corner, bro.
Yeah, and before that, Berry Gordy. So, but my point is, you had limited access to seeing him and him having an influence outside of music on people, whereas Drake, Beyonce, etc. Like my whole thing with we'll get into Drake versus Kanye, but with Drake, I don't even know it's so much the music as it is. I don't know what the percentage is, but I think a lot of it is just his antics, his memes, his people living out his lyrics, making it a real thing that surrounds the actual songs. Like if it was just based on music like it was with Mike, I don't know if we'd be putting him at this kind of level, not to take anything away from him. But I think a lot of it is the stories that are created around Drake, his pettiness, like the pettiness really makes him, I think, add so much to his whole thing, right? So you take all that and add it to some dope songs and some above average songs in my eyes. Like it makes for a thing, and you can't compare that to Mike.
Well, I'm gonna come to Drake on that take. I'm gonna come to Drake's defense on that because
you like
it's not.
The boy? Tell me
it's not. No. To your point is, I'm gonna come to his defense because it's not Drake's fault that he came up in an era where social media.
The era isn't his fault.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Knows
so
what
he
he's
utilized
doing.
it. He utilized it. He came up in the internet, and the internet era where it was just like everything was more accessible. You know what I mean? You had access, more availability, and access to whether it's music or whatever, social media, et cetera, and Mike didn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. Who do we know that Mike wouldn't follow a similar path, utilizing
Mike was just as petty. Mike was damn sure just as petty.
Mike was hanging babies over a balcony. My nigga, like what are we? And niggas still loved him.
But see, here's the thing: Mike didn't need to. I'm not saying Drake needs to, but Mike didn't need to.
Mike
hang
had
a
antics.
baby. Look,
Mike had
so this
antics.
is like later on, right? So look, I'll give you guys this. Thriller created a conversation. No one's done it before. No one's created a movie within a whatever. At least not to that level.
He was innovating. Yeah.
He was innovating. He created something outside of the music, right? And Drake did that a million times over because, again, and this is no one's fault, Mike came up in an era where you didn't have the opportunities of social media, whereas Drake has to say a line, a petty line, and it turns into a meme, or it turns into a video, or it turns into all these things that, again, you can do a million times over compared to what Mike.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Mike, take on Mike.
So, because I was partly named after Michael Jackson and Mike Tyson and every other Mike that was
Mike Jordan
popping in the 80s.
Surprised your dad didn't name you after John Travolta. John
just...
What was his character name in that movie?
It
doesn't matter.
Doesn't even matter. So this is what I looked at. So I think there's a difference between Drake and his statistics versus Mike, and then Drake versus Mike in the musical sense, right? The impact and what the music means, right? Mm-hmm. And so this is like a real rough concept, so bear with me if this even makes
My man did his research. Let's
did
go. I
sense
like
or not. No, I did not do any research. This is completely off.
You wrote some notes out.
But I wrote one thing just to compare.
You're freestyling like Drake, right? Off your phone?
Yeah.
You stupid.
Kind of. So I'm gonna just separate Drake from the MJ conversation because I think there's really no comparison. It's two different worlds, and it is what it is. But really, Drake is breaking all these records, right? But it's because everything's changed, right? Mm-hmm. Just how Drake is probably the most played, the most paid, whatever. Yep. The numbers are different. Inflation occurred. Mm-hmm. Like nothing's gonna add up. And it leads me to the whole, like, why Drake isn't even, I'm gonna go back to the music side. Drake, in my opinion, isn't even better than Kanye. You know, you brought that up. Because if we're gonna compare timelines, Drake is currently 34, if I'm not mistaken.
32?
Yeah. No, he's 34.
He's 34.
Okay.
Or no, he's 35.
No, he's somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And Kanye's what, 42?
Kanye's 44.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy dropped when Kanye was a year younger than what Drake is today. Mm-hmm. So when we compare Certified Lover Boy to Donda, right? And I'm gonna borrow a little context from Styles P, who really put this in an example, but how are you gonna compare someone putting out a dedication to his passing mother and trying to give you like something deep in his records versus someone who still hasn't even decided who his next girlfriend really is or was or baby mama or whatever, right? Like there's a 8-year gap, right? And so, but yeah, Kanye's gonna match the pettiness because if you're quote unquote
trying
competing.
to sell records.
Yeah.
But let me take it an album back. Pusha T dropped a 7-track album that was better than Scorpion.
Talk to him.
And people are gonna go pass over that because people are outnumbered.
Drake stands ain't trying to hear that though.
In the Drake stands, right? And so when we're talking musically, I'm talking musically, all right? So then I came up with this whole little concept, right? Let's just hypothetical. You guys can hear me out just to like, I know it's a little off the mic versus Drake, but I just don't think that's the big conversation.
Shouldn't even be a conversation.
So I think Jay is like Jordan. Jay-Z.
Oh, yes.
I think Jay-Z is Jordan.
For sure.
Oh boy.
I'm putting Kanye as Kobe.
Okay.
Saw this coming.
And
LeBron is Drake.
I'm with this.
I agree with this. I agree with this.
Kendrick is Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, what the fuck? Hold on. All right, go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
In what way? He's got a championship. He's very different.
But I would, you're right. When you break it down,
he has a different tactic. He's a champion. He's considered one of the best.
I can see that.
I think Kendrick would play through injuries.
I mean, but who else would you consider?
They're both super quiet.
In that terms, who else would you consider Kendrick as a basketball player?
That's what I was gonna say.
Like,
I know. I thought about this.
You got notes, my nigga.
I see.
No, it's not much. It's not very note. I only got one more note because I couldn't put Cole as anybody. I thought James Harden.
Who's going?
I thought James Harden, but
Kevin Durant.
I was thinking Steph Curry or KD.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's hard to.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So after those three, it's hard to get past.
Maybe give Kendrick, KD, and Cole, Kawhi. Maybe, I don't know.
But really,
Kendrick can be KD.
So to the core of all of this, right? The real thing that I wanted to hold on to this comparison, right? Just to give this little like image, is Drake being LeBron is the reason why LeBron is the first NBA player to be a billionaire while playing basketball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's only possible because of inflation, the era he's playing in, and like you can't compare his payroll to what Jordan made.
Yeah.
Facts. Right.
Different.
The times are different.
Different, yeah.
But so when I think of the comparison statistically, when you're trying to, Drake broke this record that the Beatles had, that Michael Jackson had, whatever. Well, yeah, the fucking times have changed.
Yeah, I mean, Jay-Z did the same shit, though, to your point. You know what I mean? Like, he broke Beatles records. Yeah. He broke Elvis's records.
Look, Drake has put out a lot of mid music surrounded with some great stuff. And But that mid music gets you a listen, gets you a playthrough,
Yeah, it does.
gets you a statistic. Like a lot of his records sound like you opened a template and you just went for it again.
Mm.
So,
And that I felt like Certified Lover Boy is an album we heard from Drake before. We've heard
yeah,
It's views.
we've
It's
views.
views.
heard this before.
Yeah.
We heard this before. So it's very typical.
versus you go to Mike's catalog, like
I mean, we're not even talking about
But see,
Mike.
that was
Mike
my
is light
argument.
years behind this. I'm bringing it to your point of him and Kanye.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? This album we heard from Ye was, it's nothing like we've heard it. It's nothing like Jesus. It's nothing like 808s and Heartbreaks.
it's a little like not like Yeezus. I'm sorry,
Life of
Christ
Pablo.
is King. It is a little Life of Pablo
Life
too.
of Pablo.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
In a
Jesus
sense,
is King. I'm sorry, Jesus
that
is
one.
King.
in a
also.
sense,
It was
I
a
think
mixture
so.
of those two.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
a sense, I believe so. But it's a new piece of work, and again, because of what it was dedicated for or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what's like. You can't. I think they're both great albums, and they're as their own entities,
Yeah.
as their own. If you're gonna ask me my opinion, which one I would rather listen to, I'm gonna listen to Kanye shit because I heard Drake shit before.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
and you
yeah.
got to play it.
And I gotta play it. I'm gonna play Drake shit in the club. We just literally just had a conversation about how Way Too Sexy is getting played. You know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, I actually dropped Jail, and I only dropped the hook, and it had a great response from me.
Yeah,
It had a great, and I wasn't expecting it, and I only used it as a transition. I used it as a transition record because I wanted to go to something else, and I used it going to jail tonight, and they were singing this shit, and I was like, oh shit, okay, take a note of that.
yeah.
Put that shit in the safe or whatever. But that's what I'm saying. We don't think of those tracks. It's automatic for Drake.
Right.
We hear something from Drake, oh, it's getting played. It's gonna be number one. Drake got fucking 10. He's got all 10 top 10 on the billboards right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And we're playing them shits. Kanye doesn't. But we don't think to play Kanye, and when we do, we're surprised about the response that we get from it as DJs.
And we're talking the music, right? Like, if you want to compare to Kanye, what's Drake going to be rapping about when he's 44? I don't know, right? We don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah. If he's still rapping.
If he's still rapping, right? Maybe he does a duet with his son. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, he'll be doing something else at 44, right? So we'll find that out later. But as far as like, I still don't think he's done anything at the level of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the greatest pieces of just art, period.
Facts.
And I mean, yeah, I don't know. Kanye's transcended the sound every time, and it's been different. Versus Drake is just repeating the sound.
Yeah, I just think Drake is more what's the word I'm looking for? More people know about Drake. I think if you went to some third world country in the middle of nowhere and you asked them, do you know who Drake is? You know who Kanye is? They're gonna be like, yeah, we know who Drake is, but they may not know who Kanye is.
So take it out of the music.
Yeah.
Drake, I'm agree. Present day, generation, right? 2015 to present day or something like that. He is the larger artist, but he's still not the largest influence. Ye is selling more shoes than that man has ever seen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 1000%.
Anytime Ye just changed the Gap's business by X-fold, and he hasn't even had an official drop. Like, he's building off of influence. And everybody that's come up under Ye, right? Travis. When he's borrowing Travis's sound for Yeezus, when he's borrowing Cuddy's sound for Heartbreak, 808s and Heartbreaks, when he's borrowing Daft Punk's influence into Graduation, right? Like, when he took the whole gold backpacking era, the golden backpacking era, and put it into College Dropout, right? He put on all those dudes, Def, Common, Talib.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, he's those guys. He's put all of those guys on those platforms to normalize the sound, and then created honestly careers for every single one of those guys.
Yeah,
every single guy he was sitting with at Paris Fashion Week, and whatever year that was. It was Virgil, Don C, IBN Jasper, all dudes that are putting on
everybody knows
mad work. Jerry Lorenzo was helping him style. This man has an empire.
Yeah.
There's Drake puts people on too. He's definitely broke a lot of artists.
He breaks a lot of rappers,
right?
And
but
he'll
then
be a
there's The
feature
Weeknd.
on their stuff.
No, but my only issue with that is the big artist always has to get with the up and coming artist to maintain relevance, because the up and coming artist has the raw fan base and has like the pure fan base at the beginning of their career. You know, like there's just a lot of buzz around the Migos and Versace when they come out. And so the bigger name artists will always latch on to that just to stay relevant. Whereas Kanye is just like, I birthed you, Virgil. I don't want anything else from you. You're gone. You're out of here. You're good. Jerry Lorenzo, like I don't know if he picked him up from making Diesel jeans or whatever, but he picked him up and then she's like, you're out of here.
Jerry
now.
was a club promoter in LA.
Yeah. He was a club, like, I got you. You're out of here. Like, I don't want anything from you. Like, once these people, and you can't name a single designer, a single anybody in the fashion business that's not somehow connected to Kanye's tree. You know what I mean? But back to my point, yeah, I think the Drakes will always latch on to going up on a Tuesday, you know, something like that. That's up and coming and raw.
But where's I Love McConan? I mean, that's not fair.
That's you proving his point though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's they get their little hot bubble, and then next thing you know, like who's to the extent who really capitalized off of a Drake feature outside of Migos?
I mean,
Migos,
Baby, Love Me Little Baby.
who's the one that he put on?
Block Boy.
Block Boy is
Boy.
quiet. After Rover, I ain't seen shit from that nigga.
He's still in the motherfucker in a 2018 Rover. Ew.
A shout out to Waddy J in the building. So my thoughts on this whole Drake versus Kanye, as quick as I can. I'm listening to Drake's album, and even before I heard Joe Budden's take, before I got the gist of Rory and Moss. Like Rory had all those guys had great takes. But even before listening to them, I'm listening halfway through Drake's album. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever he does, it doesn't matter because he is bigger than music. Yeah. He's bigger than the actual songs. So again, some of that shit I thought was mid, or I don't care, or it's like, to all those guys' points, it sounded old. It sounded, you're 34 years old, still talking like a 22-year-old. You know, you're still trying to connect with the petty, ratchet people. And of course, it sells. Those people want to hear. They don't want to hear grown Drake talking about like whatever Jay-Z will be talking about at a grown age. Like, there's no connection there. But you know, obviously Jay-Z's fans grew up with him, so there might be a little bit of a connection. But yeah, like, it just doesn't matter what this guy does. So it's like, for me to think anymore would just be a waste of energy.
Couldn't you make the same argument for Kanye though?
Huh?
Can't you make that same argument for Kanye?
It
doesn't matter.
No, yeah, it doesn't because he's got fat. Like, yeah, but with Kanye, I'm getting like, I want to know what's happening next within this song, within this moment, because he's so art driven.
Yeah,
like, you know, like, I'm not saying it's this easy or I'm minimalizing Drake to this, but 4-bar loop that shit and I'll rap over it and I got a catchy hook and some petty lines and we're good. Like, I think it's that easy for him, not for us or any other rapper, but I think it's that easy for him because he is bigger than the actual songs going out.
If we're, let's just, for the sake of still competing their albums, I'm curious to know who has the longer, like, who's still listening to it more. And I say that because Drake dropped it out of nowhere. So we saw a huge spike in his first week numbers. But I think there was a big tail off second week because
he was still in the lead in the second week in Billboard.
That's because Baby King dropped.
No, I'm talking like plays, like listens.
Okay.
And so, like, I think the only reason I say that is because Ye wasn't that far behind week 2, I think. And he had already played the album for us 4 weeks in a row in 3 different stadiums or 2 different stadiums.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I just feel like maybe there's a little more context there. But with that being said, King's Disease 1 and 2 are better than both albums.
Baby Keem is better than both albums.
Right, here we go.
That just dropped, right? Like last week.
Two weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
I gotta hear that. I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about that.
Yo, listen.
Yeah, that's why I was so taken back from the Kendrick thing, because I mean, like, I place him.
I wasn't dissing Kendrick by calling Kawhi Leonard.
No,
There's just not enough players in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you want me to go?
But I will put Kendrick and Cole right next to Drake. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't take them away from that just trifecta.
Look, man, we all want to see Kendrick versus Drake. I don't know if we're ever gonna get it, but I put Kendrick
versus how like.
No,
in what
just bumping the beefing.
I need-
Talk rap.
Kendrick
lyrics,
is just
Kendrick gonna smoke this nigga.
He
Nah,
out raps
Cole
everything.
gonna smoke this nigga.
And see, here's the thing: they are both so strategic because Kendrick has to be careful how he moves because if he moves in the wrong way, he's gonna play Drake's petty game. Drake has to be careful how he moves because he knows lyrically he can't keep up and play Kendrick. Like Drake can't respond to Kendrick popping up on a Baby Keem album and saying smoking on top 5. Nah, just you.
Fuck that single. Burn that hard drive.
Yeah.
Nigga.
Come on, man.
Yeah, like Drake can't respond to that, but he knows who he's talking
But
about.
you saw how he struggled a little bit against Pusha. I mean, I love Pusha, but
Nah, he's up there, though.
you have to be a music expert or advocate to like really appreciate Pusha. Your average everyday person is not listening to Pusha like that.
Smacked him, bro.
Like, you know what I mean? But we talking about Kendrick? Nigga, come on, bro. Like, and I think that's why it will never happen. A Kendrick versus Drake or Cole versus. I think we would see a Cole versus Kendrick before we see either one of them try to do a verse.
Nah, they like each other too.
They love each other. I know they do.
With everybody,
Cole and
but-
Kendrick are for the impact. Drake is for the attention. Like it's just different. Like,
Yeah.
those guys are working for different purposes in this
Exactly,
world,
that's
and
why
it's
it won't
fine.
happen. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
It's fine. Yeah, both
Drake
all
can
three of them
build the
exist,
biggest
yeah.
business out of the music game. Like he could build the largest statistics. He could go for breaking all the records. He's the Russell Westbrook in the sense of he wants the triple double. We get that. That's
Yeah.
fine. You can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Kendrick and Cole, literally, like they always find a purpose with their moves.
I think that's the point that you're making, that at this age, you have to evolve your lyrics. You can't Drake has always been the most relatable, but like you said, it's from being petty, it's from being on the button with the memes and all that shit. But Cole and Kendrick is talking about their fatherhood and just business shit.
Evolution.
Evolving.
or they're just spitting dope rhymes, like
Facts.
and just painting a picture. I will say both of them though. What both of them have is I lost my point.
Well, I will say to your
I'll tell you
point.
what I don't
I,
know.
I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet that I thought was kind of funny, and I really agreed with.
Hold on, I
because-
found it.
Okay.
You are Joe Budden.
They both have. Oh shit! I lost it. Go ahead.
So he was saying he was talking about elevating lyrics and whatnot, and someone tweeted that we didn't hear Drake talk about anything that was going on currently in the world or
He never
anything
does.
like that.
Write it down.
Whatever.
All right.
And someone said, "Nigga, the album is called CLB, not CNN." Nigga, like, what'd you expect? Like, and I said,
that's fair.
that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair. You
for
know,
sure.
most people will go to the music. We go to the music to escape reality. You know what I mean? We listen to music so we don't have to deal with what's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I want to go to music to hear about the same shit that the news is talking about or social media is talking about, et cetera, et cetera. So I agree with it to the extent where I'm like, we're using it to get away from whatever it is that is going on and whatever negative shit that we don't want to hear
Man,
about.
it's never gonna be good enough for the people.
No,
Not-
1,000%.
Well, and not every album's for everybody,
Yeah,
right?
well,
Like it doesn't speak to everybody, and that's okay. What's not okay is people fucking shaming you for thinking what you think.
It's trash.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my employees loves Drake, like fucking
Drake could do no
Jesus
wrong.
Christ, and I'm amazed.
this nigga
I'm
is-
amazed he got engaged because it's against the policy.
You're not following your brand, buddy.
You're not on brand there. But I had to tell him, I was like, I mean, this is again my opinion. I
Better
was
not
like,
be a future for
yo,
it.
keep right.
It's all downhill. I hope she got prenup.
Where is your loyalty? But in my head, I'm like, and then I told I was like, man, you got to listen to King's Disease. King's Disease 1 and 2 is like fire.
It's amazing.
And but not everybody will relate to it. And I joked around. I was like, you're just not at that tax bracket yet. Like, because your mindset, given, I probably wasn't listening to certain people, that rappers or something that are older, that I can't relate to that. But when I hear Nas talking about crypto,
Yeah.
investments,
Art,
401k.
shit,
Mickey's like, ooh, he's
business
spitting
shit.
right now. He's spitting right now.
Talking my language.
Peloton, like rich people shit.
Drink you some
Peloton,
alkaline
it's
water.
on.
Working on my
Like,
core.
oh, he's
Eat some
fired.
cherries. You know what I'm saying? Nigga talking about good health, but I appreciate it. But
And
to your
Hit
point-
Boy fucking did an amazing
Yeah,
job.
he smacked that shit.
smacked
You
that-
can't miss
both
with
projects.
That. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna ask y'all this because our
going
good friend
We
Alex.
we're
It's
good.
gonna be the last one. It's gonna be the last
No,
one.
this is a great conversation.
Our good friend Alex swears up and down that Drake needs to do a verse, right? A verses. Drake needs to do a verses. And he said the
Feel
only
God.
person that Drake, he said, the only person that I think that Drake could do a verses with, and he will smack this person, is Jay-Z. I almost put hands on a cop. Listen, like, he continues to try to have this discussion with me about how
Alex
Drake.
also likes to try to get under your skin.
No,
That's the only point. That's all he's doing.
Like I do it, but then he's just like,
Old
nah,
Alex
seriously.
would have been
He's
right
like-
up in that
he,
shit.
He was like, nah, seriously. But every time we go to his crib, I'm like, yo, you always playing this Jay-Z shit. I never hear you play Drake though. I was like, never hear you. So why are we having this conversation? He's like, I'm telling you. He goes, what's Jay gonna play when Drake plays this or whatever? I said this. I give him 5 to every one that he plays. And I said, bro, you don't understand. I said, the longevity count. He's like, it doesn't matter. There's only 20 songs. I said, exactly. Because of the longevity, because Jay's been doing it for so long, he has more to pick from than Drake. It's not fair. It's not fair. I want to get like, do you even think that that's even a fair versus for Drake?
I think it's capable of being a battle, but like I don't think it'll be a blowout per se. But I think
it's
capable.
a blowout.
And this goes back to the whole generation thing. Like when Drake plays this song and Jay plays this song, Drake stands there and be like, yo, like nothing can be like it's the best song ever. And Jay-Z fans are going to say the same thing because they're coming from 2 different generations and nothing's going to get accomplished.
I get that. And to your point, I get that 100%. So
That's why it's like
there needs to be judges. It's something like this. There needs to be judges.
Hip-hop
and they need
judges?
Yeah, right.
Ooh.
And they need to be in a generation. They need to be in a generation that experienced Jay and Drake.
The problem is they're more than likely were there for Jay when Jay was in his prime.
Well, I'm not, but that's what I'm saying. You got to pick unbiased people, like what you call it.
That's tough because
everybody's biased,
you can't pick someone like me and put them in there, and I'm like, nah, nigga, like why are we even having this conversation?
No New Yorkers.
I have to.
No
I have to.
Or any
no
Canadians.
New Yorkers can do it. Yeah, no New Yorkers can
or
do
women,
it. But
Drake. You know.
you got to pick somebody. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, Drake is not going to hold his own. I still think it would be a blowout, but that's me being biased.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to pick someone like yourself. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool.
Yeah.
I can appreciate Jay.
Yeah,
especially
I
because
can-
you're a
I can
Nas
do
fan.
that. I
You're
can
more
do
of a
that.
Nas
You're pretty
fan than
neutral.
what you call it. You're
Yeah, I'm a
neutral.
neutral guy,
And
yeah.
you're like, oh, I can appreciate both as artists and whatnot. Pick
But
someone
see,
like
here's
yourself.
the thing: you can't. It something like obviously it will never happen, but it
Yeah, it
can
will
never
never happen.
happen because I think most of Drake's hits are R&B songs.
Do you don't like R&B?
People, you're not going to put R&B against it. Like that would be pointless.
But they have
But
done
that's
it
the
because
thing,
you can
like,
go
you
back to
just
how
think-
when they put Jadakiss versus Fabulous, you just make the same argument against
But
them too.
Fabulous is rapping compared to where Drake is like singing and ooh and ahhing like throughout. He's crooning throughout the song. Whereas Fabulous like just so happens to have a female on the hook and he's spitting some lovey-dovey type shit. I don't like. No, it's a fair point, but I think there are more songs of Drake's that are hits where he's actually singing than Laugh Now, Cry Later. You know, I don't know. Again,
My girlfriend's
it'll
from
never
Toronto.
happen.
I can't talk too much more shit.
Does she like Drake?
Tapped. Oh god.
Oh man.
She reminds me every time of when the time he grabbed her hand at a party.
When she get mad at you and you put Kanye on the whip?
Huh?
Did she get mad? Turn this shit off.
I'm actually joking about everything. He did grab her hand though. She was like, yo, chill.
Sam went to a Drake
off
and
me.
Future
Don't bring that up
concert.
again.
Fuck off me.
Fucking kill you.
I'll fucking kill Drake. No, I'm just kidding.
Is that the hand he touched? Get the shit out of here.
Go bleach that shit.
Sam went to a Drake and Future concert a long time ago when they dropped their joint album, and she said I don't remember Future or Drake. She said he was rapping to me. He was singing to me. I was like, he wasn't, but go on.
But-
Like I know every woman.
Every woman in there
thousands of
felt
women
that
felt
way.
like you, but no, it's fine. I'm glad you had that moment.
It had to be Drake because she definitely didn't
Probably.
think Future was singing to
And if he was, it was going to be a short time. Whatever that would have become would have been short lived.
Anyhow,
yeah, we're done here. We can save this other shit for next time.
We always do that. We have a bunch of topics. All right, guys, we need topics. We want to talk about two.
We're like, let's have a whole call about the topics tomorrow. We got 5. We got 2.
Well, look, here's the thing. So listeners don't know. So I reached out to the guys like, yo, we're going to get on a phone call.
Give him a little BTS, Joe.
Give him, get on a phone call, talk about what we're going to discuss so we're somewhat organized.
Journalism preparation that's best.
Typically, we get on a call. Mickey's driving Orange County. Rell's at his house watching Versus.
Yep.
Or sports. And then the conversations are like 30 minutes because we're trying to figure out whatever. Mind you, these guys have things on their minds, so it's not really focused. But you put them in a position where you say, hey, we got to talk. And both say, I'm at dinner. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to ask you to go over topics while you're at dinner with a party. So we got to figure this out. And then Mickey rallies and says, this is what we're going to do. Boom, boom, and boom. See? That's it. We don't need a half-hour conversation. Just throw points out there.
Whose idea was for the conference call?
Because all you guys have to do is just come up with the topics in the moment of the call.
We have them.
Either way, it doesn't need to take that long. My point is, it doesn't have to take that long. You guys are scatterbrained because I go in there with like, hey, I have an idea. Talk about this, this, and this, and then you guys will just like kind of like, yeah, Rell, you got anything? Oh, well, then Mickey, you're driving, you got traffic, you're probably hungry and you're angry.
I almost died a couple times.
So it's like my point is it doesn't need to be that long if we just like focus in real quick. Boom, boom, boom. We're good.
Yeah, we can just text it.
Yeah, it's all fun.
It's that conversation of shit that can be handled over a text and not a phone call.
Listen,
we handled it
from now on,
we're
all responsible for one topic. I'll take your topics.
Mickey Joe
was like, what are the topics?
Joe's trip.
Hold up.
Well, I
said it first.
Hold up.
Hey, I gave
Mickey's 3 topics.
I'm the overachiever. I give you 3 topics.
Joe's trip, Rell at the room,
2,
and iOS 15.
But the one
we need to talk about iOS 15.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about that shit.
I know. But my point is you can't take our topics.
My topics carry over.
Yeah, you're right.
My topic we carry over to next week. I'm already inputted.
This is what we deal with when we're not on the mic. Just to let y'all know in front of the camera. But we got topics. So do we need to have a phone call next week?
No, as long as you guys are that quick, I don't care.
Because we have topics.
Let's just set that as the deadline. That's when we're having the conversation.
We got rollover topics.
Rollover topics.
Hey, copy and paste iOS 15.
Yes.
Hey guys, so get familiar with iOS 15. 2 weeks, we're going to talk about it.
No, because now it's not going to be
it's going to be irrelevant.
And then I wanted to just quickly touch on Versus with Fat Joe and Job because whatever, but that'll be relevant too. But the Pepas conversation with Phenom was interesting. I wanted to talk about that because it leads into other shit.
We could talk about that though.
Globalization. This week we got Rell and MikiDZ from Miami.
Yeesh.
Man is holding it down out there, doing a lot of the dope venues. It's funny, at Swan, where he's a resident, they post flyers with a hot girl. It's just a picture of the hot girl that attended. And I told him, do these girls know they're becoming flyers? He's like, no, but I'm pretty sure they don't care. Like, I'm pretty sure like they'd be honored to be on a Swan flyer. But yeah.
My sister that happened to my sister, and she like contacted people, and she's like, nah, take that shit down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your sister's like a registered model, like legendary resume.
She was like, nah, you don't pay me for this shit.
She gets paid for that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Like actually.
That's true. It's crazy when I used to go out to all these other countries, they'd have Drake on a flyer, but just promoting the night as like an R&B
That's a
night.
very, very common thing out there.
Yeah, but it's like, damn, I never see that here, obviously, because...
Oh, shit, Drake's showing up.
Well, maybe Sammy Sam will put Fat Drake.
Remember what happened with the heist.
Dead
They did the Dead Mouse.
Exactly. Oh, my God.
But yeah, all right, so we got MikiDZ, and then...
Did you guys see that meme that... I'm going to guess that Sammy made it. But he's like, if you dating in LA is so difficult, like you have to compete with like an NBA athlete and an NFL
Ty Dolla's DJ,
a trapper, Ty Dolla Sign's DJ, or this fat promoter named Sammy Sam.
Yeah,
and it popped into one of my group chats. That's like completely separate. It's like a business group chat, with the group of guys, and I'm like, Sammy Sam had to have made this.
Hey, shit,
I'm like, there's no way he belongs on that list.
Sammy Sam don't even live in LA.
I didn't even catch the Dre Sinatra reference. That was
No,
pretty
he
funny.
never took none of my hosts.
I think about that
Sammy Sam deals with different girls. He deals with different girls.
Yeah, I'd seen him.
Yeah.
shit. All right, on that note, thank you guys.
I'm not saying they're ugly. I'm just saying they're different.
Right.
We go ahead and shut it down.
Or weight challenged.
We need to stop. we gotta press stop, Joe.
Weight challenge? No.
No.
Okay. All right. And after Cases, we got Party with Jay from Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
International.
Get us out of here.
Yeah. We out. Peace.
We out. Peace.